All right. Welcome back to the second section of this workshop. We're going straight to the software now, where we're going to explain how the software, the interface of the software, and then how it works, and then what some of the things that we need to know before we go into full practical section tomorrow. Okay, as you can see on my screen, when you double click on the software from your desktop, as I said, Microsoft is designed by a Microsoft corporation, which when you install it in your system, it will now locate the Microsoft family and become the part of the Microsoft suite. Okay, but normally it doesn't come with most of the Microsoft suite, so you need to download the software yourself. Or as I said, you can meet with any of those software technicians, like all those people doing maintenance, maybe computer repair and all that. Some of them are good in installing those software. So you can meet them, let them install the software for you. Okay. So if you open the software, if you double click on it, either from your desktop or from any environment where you install the software, it will come to this particular place. This is the stage where you are now, where we have blank project. That is a new project. Like let's say open a new. Let's say when you're using a Microsoft Word. Okay. So now we have the blank project. We have new from an existing project. We have new from a cell. Let's assume you have the list, a sequence of your construction or a sequence of your projects. Please pardon me if I always use construction, because I'm actually a builder, so construction always comes to my mind. So based on the sequence of the project, the particular project that you want to do, I don't want to be focusing more on construction, so that if there are some of the participants that are actually not in the construction industry, so that it will not feel that as if we are focusing more on construction project. No, any other project is also involved. Okay, so if you have then in particular the list of your sequence of your tasks, we talk about collecting requirement and create the tasks, right? The list of the tasks or activity list, whatever that you have created. So now all those tasks that you have created, if you have them already in a Excel sheet, you can just import them straight. Okay, and then we have the new from SharePoint. New from SharePoint is when you are dealing with collaboration. Okay, for example, if you do collaboration in let's say, the point is that, we cannot be able to do collaboration when we are using a cracked version of the software. But in technology, mainly now, we are focusing on what we call sharing information. For example, in building industry, we have what we call building information modeling. In GIS, we have what we call geographic information system, or geographic information modeling, or geographic information management. Okay, so all those things now, you're talking about sharing information without necessarily printing those things out. Okay, so SharePoint now is about sharing information to another individual that actually need the information that you have. Okay, but we cannot actually share points because we are using the cracked version, because you cannot connect it to the internet. All right. Okay, but if you are using a licensed Microsoft project, you can share information using the SharePoint. Okay, and then you see we have a recent project. That is the project that you have done with this particular software. Okay, we have new. Okay, then we have open. Open here, that is to say, some of these recent projects. Now, anyone that is not here and then you want to access it, you can click on open and then it will take you to that place. Okay, all those things we are still going to follow each of them one by one. But the first thing to do is to actually click on blank project. Okay, so that you open a blank project. Okay, I hope you guys are hearing me. I need a response, please.
Yes, we are. I'm hearing you.
Good.
Yes, we are hearing.
All right, and you are seeing my screen, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Good.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So now, as you can see, this is an
Yes, you can hear you, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. So this is an interface of Microsoft projects. Okay. You see it is actually look like Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft Word or Excel. Okay. In fact, it can even be referred to an advanced Excel. Okay, because it's almost the same. Every function, if you know how to use Excel or you know how to use Microsoft Word, you can actually use the software. Okay, just as some few things that need to be explained for you to actually grab it. Okay, and within these days, by the grace of God, you are going to grab it. The main thing is just your willingness to accept the technology and then your willingness to apply it. Because it's one thing to learn, and then it's another thing to actually use what you have learned so that it will not escape, so that it will not go out of your memory. So if you can actually take your time, even if you have it in your system already, can I know how many people that have this software presently?
I have already in my system.
Okay.
I have already. My own is even open now, but it's the 2021 version, not
Okay.
2016.
Yes, no problem, no problem.
I have it already in my system before.
Okay, that is good. That is good. Is whether it's 20.
I don't have.
Yes, I understand. As I said, please after today's class, if possible, if you can move around. Oga, you that is in Kaduna, actually, the place I know is in Jos Road. Jos Road, inside town. I'm referring to those that are in Kaduna, actually. Jos Road, there are some guys there that actually do software. Or even within your own location, anybody that is doing repair, computer repair, you can meet with the person. Because after they do installation, after they possibly format your system and all that, then they actually install software. You understand? And some of them have some of those softwares available for them in their place to install. So please, I want you to actually use that approach, because if I said I should send you videos on how to install it and all that, you will still find a lot of encounter a lot of challenges. Okay, so please just use that method, meet with somebody to do it for you. All right, so as you can see, this is Microsoft project interface. From here, where you're having columns and row here, this is where you input your tags. Okay, and then where you're having a form of a calendar, that is where it will show your charts. Okay, if you have ever seen a project management job before, an exported or an output project management job before, you see that it comes with a duration, start and finish dates. You understand, possibly with the predecessor and the resources, and then the charts covering that. The same thing has to do with the start and finish date. Okay, it's the same date that you are showing on start and finish date. That is what the chart will also be showing on the chart bar. Okay, so this is the interface. For example, now if you click here, this is, they call it tax name, right? So if I click here and then I write, let's say site clearance. Okay, if I write site clearance, okay, if I write site clearance now, here, they now talk about the tax mode. Okay, tax mode now is that we have manual scheduling and then we have automatic schedule. Okay, so if I click on this under this tax mode now, presently it's on manual, but if I click on this arrow now, I can change it to auto. Okay, now immediately you put it as auto, it automatically bring out the duration, which is 1 day. It just tell you that this is 1 day, and it's starting 22nd, which is on Monday, because from the existing calendar we have, the follow-come calendar, the default calendar that this system have, we are not working on Saturday, Sunday, right? We are not working on Saturday, Sunday. That is why the system automatically shifts the tax of site clearance to Monday based on the default calendar that follow it. But all those things can be adjusted. You can adjust your calendar, you can set your own calendar to meet with what you want. If you want to work even Saturday, Sunday, there are some companies that work Saturday, Sunday. Okay, so you can set your calendar to work any days that you want to work. But based on the default of this, we don't work on Saturday, Sunday. Okay, and our working hours is from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and then we have a 1 hour break, and then you have from 12 to after 1 hour to 5. Okay, so depend all those things is a calendar that you need to create as a project manager. You know how your company works, you know how many hours you want your staff to work. Okay, so all those things is what you are going to set yourself. But based on this now, we are not working on Saturday. That's why the software automatically shifted to start on 22nd May 2023. And then it's finishing on that the same day because it's carrying day one, it's carrying 1 day as a duration. Okay, and then we look at the bar here. You see the bar under the bar chart. You see the chart here. Sorry, under the chart bar. You see it here. So you see that it's actually pointing on the Monday. It starts on the Monday and it finishes. For example, if I increase this duration to 2 now, you see that the duration now will now extend from Monday to Tuesday, okay, under the chart bar. And then from the date here now, the starting date is still on Monday, but we are finishing on the 23rd now, okay, which is Tuesday. So if I increase the duration to 4 days now, and then it will automatically increase to now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, and then your finishing date now will become 25th of May. Okay, now if I increase it to 10 days, now discover that it increased from Monday to Friday, which is 5 days, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 5 days. Okay, and then it exclude Saturday and Sunday, and then we have another 5 days. Okay, but when you set your calendar that you want to work on Saturday, especially construction industry, you want to work on Saturday, at that point now, it will no longer jump that Saturday again. So your calculation will be based on Saturday as well, that you're going to include Saturday in your working days. Okay, so this is how the interface works. So you look at it that this is actually a very simple thing. It's very, very simple. The same thing. So now if you have the sequence of your construction already, or a sequence of your project, depending on the kind of project you do, what you require from you only is to type it, fill all these places with it. Okay, as you continue, this is site clearance. After site clearance, we have excavation. After excavation, let's assume we have blinding. After blinding, okay, after blinding, we have, let's assume block work. Okay, now, so what's required just for you to fill all these things, right? If you fill all this information with your sequence of your project, what you are going to do, the tasks that you want to do, then you now sit down. Now, one thing is that even if the person did not even know Microsoft project, for example, you can actually give it to somebody else to actually type. Let's assume you, as a person, you don't actually have time to start typing all those things. Because I does that, I always do that as well, because sometimes I have a particular project that I will not actually have time to start typing them. So what is it? I'll normally give it to, okay, somebody, okay, maybe possibly one of my staff to actually type it. It doesn't require any project management knowledge for the person to type. You only show that, okay, type this sequence based on the way you list it for the person. It will just type it for you here. And then you see, after that, you can now come and start doing your duration. What is required now is just for you to actually do all the schedule based on the durations, based on the date that is being specified. Now, we talk about the auto schedule, right? Now, this is manual. Let's assume you don't want to do auto schedule, because immediately if you select auto schedule, it automatically select a date for you. But if you come here, you can actually do your date yourself. Let's assume it's manual now. You can come here and when you increase it, you now select when did you want it to start. Okay, when did you want it to start yourself, and then when did you want it to finish? Now, the reason why it automatically give me when it will finish is because I've already put the duration, which is 3 days. So if you put your duration and then you select the starting point, it will definitely tell you when it will finish. Or you put the duration and then you select or suggest. You understand or select the ending point where the project will end. It automatically tell you the finishing point. Okay, so all those things has to do with the approach of your project management. There are some projects that you actually need to project backward. Let's assume they have already finished the project itself. Okay, so you actually need to project it backward to meet with the duration. They will already tell you that, okay, this project needs to finish on so day. Right, so it's less for you to actually do it to make sure that you finish. We have a lot of experience of such projects here in Nigeria. Okay, so and then another thing to take note of is discover that the color of the bar chart of auto schedule is different from that of the manual. Okay, so you can see the color difference here, and all this color can be changed. You can adjust it. You can change it yourself. Okay, to any colors, which we are going to explain on any of those things. Okay, and then continuously on the explanation or overview, you discover that we have task mode, task name, duration, start and finish, and then we have predecessor. If you click on these small arrows here, this small line here, and then you drag it, you have more columns that you fill. For example, we have resources. I told you about assigning the resources. And then if you continue, we talk about add new, which you can add more new column. If you click on it, you see more other things that you add. You can decide to add actual cost, actual duration, actual finish. Okay, so you want to add actual cost, like you want to be putting cost of every of the activities or the tasks that you want to do. You can add it to the column. So depending on what is required, what you want it to show on your schedule. Okay, but basically what is required is your start and finish, the duration, the task, the duration, the start and finish date, the predecessor, and the resources. Okay, so you can drag it back. Okay, now what is predecessor? Predecessor, we talk about logical relation, right? We talk about the relationship between the tasks, right? Which task that follows a particular task. So now, if I set the predecessor, this my task here now, which is number 2 now, is preceding 1, right? You understand? So now, if I click here now, this arrow, I say that, okay, site clearance will follow, no, excavation will follow site clearance. That is to say, you must finish site clearance before excavation. So now you see that you automatically put 1, right? That is to say, it's following this. I can still decide that, okay, my blinding will follow excavation. Now, this time around, it will now put 2 because your blinding is following excavation. But if you put 3, that's as if I put 3 here, then they say you cannot make a task a predecessor of itself because it's number 3. So there's no way that blinding will follow it blindly because it's his own. It's his own self, right? So this is the warning that they are giving to you. So now, instead of it to predict, I can decide, okay, precede 1 also, instead of it to precede 2. That is to say, after site clearance, as they are doing the excavation, possibly they excavate one side, as the excavation continues, it can the blinding can also continue, right? So now I discovered that if you look at the chart here, look at the chart we have here, you see that it follows both the arrow, and is showing that, okay, after site clearance, you are going to have excavation, and then at the same time, you are going to have your blinding. All of them follow site clearance. But the situation whereby I make this one to follow 2, I make it follow 2 by changing this to 2, or select using the selection approach here, or you can just change it to 2 like this. Okay, now if you look at it now, the line for the blinding is no longer on site clearance, it's now following excavation. I don't know if you guys are understanding me. This is just a good understanding of how project management works. Okay, so that is what the predecessor all of. So we have a lot of tasks following each other. We have a lot of tasks that follow each other based on their logical relation. Hope you guys are understanding me.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir, we are understanding you.
Good. So now we talk about resources. We talk about resources.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What if you have a task that 2 can go concurrently?
Yes. 2 of them can go concurrently, right?
Yeah, what becomes the predecessor, which
Now,
means is the initial.
For example, now, if like excavation, let's say in terms of construction now, depending on the kind of project, excavation and blinding can actually go. You understand? Possibly if they excavate some places, maybe some part of the project or the part of the building, you can actually start blinding them while the excavation is still going on in the other side, right? So now instead of putting your predecessor, your blinding to be 1 now, you can still put it as 2. Sorry, you can still put it as 1, right? So now it's showing that, okay, as blinding is going on, your excavation is going on, your blinding is also going on, and then you come back to your date itself. Now you look at it very well. Excavation, 1 day, okay, which is which date is this? Which is this is June, right? Yeah, this is 5th June, okay, and then your blinding is starting on 6th June. Now, if I increase the duration of this excavation to something like 5, and then it dies to say excavation is going on, and then the blinding itself, excavation end on 9th of June. Your blinding is starting on 6th of June, and then it's ending on 8th, which definitely is not right because we have to finish it. So I now increase the blinding also, okay, so that it will increase. So now I discovered that both the blinding and the excavation can actually go concurrently. Now the only thing I did here was to put excavation to start 1 day before blinding will start, because possibly it's not advisable that, okay, you just bring people that will do the blinding and then they will come to the site and be waiting for somebody to, or the other group to actually excavate before they start their own blinding. So at least the excavating group can actually do the excavation 1 day, and then the rest of the day and the project or the 2 tasks can go concurrently. Did you understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Good. So, but on your own, you are the one managing the project, and then you know the kind of project that you are managing. So you can decide to say, okay, all of them is starting on the 5th of June. Okay, you can decide, okay, so you can decide, okay, all of them should start on the 5th of June, and then you can select the dates. Instead of the 6th, you start on the 5th of June. And then if you look at the chart here now, if you look at the chart now, you discover that the bars are the same. Just that one of the color is a manual bar and the other one is auto schedule. but you can still change them here, as I said. Normally, it's advisable to use auto schedule because it will actually make your work fast and then eliminate some errors that you might not be noticed easily. Okay. Okay, now that is the an overview of the chart here. Now from here, from the up here, we have this particular environment which I have explained before, which when you click on file, then we talk about tags, which all these things now is under the tags. Okay, then we talk about resources, where you can assign resources. We have resources pool, we have team planner. This is the view. Okay, the view of your charts. We have we have network diagram, right? We have network diagram, we have chart, we have resources sheet, we have the resources usage, resources form, resources graph, tax usage, tax form, tax sheet, team planner, timeline, tracking Gantt. Okay, so all those things are a different view that you can use to manage your project. Okay, that is under this resources. No, it's not. Yeah, this is the view on its own. And under the resources now we have this assigns and then the level resources. Then we have the reporting aspect, the reporting bar, where you now talk about the dashboard. You can create a particular dashboard for your project whereby you can actually monitor the project. And then you can have a report, you can write a new report, you can generate a report for the progress of the job. Then we have getting started, we have getting started is about the explanation on how you can use it. And then we have the visual reports. Then we talk about the project itself. This is where we'll now talk about setting a project. You can, under the project information, this is where you set about the project, the name of the project, okay, designed by who, and then we'll talk about the custom field where you can customize this work interface. Then we have link project. Link project is where you can now link it. We talk about, I just link a project now using a predecessor. So you can link a project also with direct linking, okay? And then we talk about WBS, work breakdown structure, where you can now break down each of the tasks one to a different level of management. Then the change working time is where you now work on your calendar. Okay, I say that, okay, we have different calendar settings that are going to be used based on your approach or based on your working time for your project. Okay, and then we have calculate projects. We have set baseline. We have new projects. We have update projects. Okay, and then if we continue. We have view. We'll talk about view, we'll talk about network diagram. Some of those views I just show you here. Network diagram can actually interpret this particular chart that we have now. That particular schedule that I create can be represented in this form using the network diagram view. Okay, so there are many other views that we have. We have resources using and all that. So you can click on each of the views to see how it works. Then we have help. Help is where you get more help, like to connect to the internet or read about some of the things. Okay. Then we have network diagram formats. If you want to do some formatting to this environment. Okay. This is about to search for some things. Maybe there are some tools that you are looking for, and then you don't know which particular ribbons or which particular menu you can find it. Then you can just easily search for it here. Okay, so basically this is an overview of the project management software as a tool. Okay. Actually don't want us to go straight to the full practical today because I want at least quite a number of people to have the software installed in the system. But as I say, even though you don't have the software, at the end of every weekend, we're going to edit the video and send it back to the group where you can watch and then see everything yourself. So at every point, you can actually practice each of the training that we have done. So try as much as possible to do the installation, because it is better you follow up the process immediately so that when you have a challenge, you can ask. Okay, so this is the summary of the interface of Microsoft project. So I don't know, is there any question?